Viewers, what if I told you today we were looking at Where's Waldo? A joint project by Bethesda Softworks and published by THQ, 1991. Yes, Bethesda and THQ. The THQ part we can figure out. The Bethesda part, not so much. Where's Waldo, known as Where's Wally in the UK and Australia, is a puzzle game developed by Bethesda and published in 1991 by THQ for the NES. It was the first video game loosely based on Martin Handford's book of the same name. Mostly similar to the book's, players must help Waldo get to the moon by finding him in each of the 8 levels of the game. The game was negatively reviewed by critics, who criticized the games for its graphics, which made it much more difficult to find Waldo in each of the levels. We are playing here on easy, just so you can get a good idea of what happens throughout the levels. Easier difficulties make the screen smaller and your targeter bigger, while harder difficulties make the screen much bigger, thus having more things on the screen to dig through and your target crosshair box thing smaller. The player's goal is to help Waldo get to the moon by finding Waldo in various pictures in order to progress through the game. There are 8 levels in the game. In the picture levels, the directional buttons control a magnifying glass that must be placed over Waldo in order to find him, move on to the next level, and a new picture. In easy and practice mode, the pictures are still images of the screen from the levels. In medium and hard mode, the player has to scroll to the side to see the rest of the area. Also, in medium and hard mode, Waldo will change color to make it more challenging to find him in the picture levels. In the practice mode, there is no time limit. However, only a select number of levels are open, namely the train station, forest, and caves. The time limit for the other levels varies. On easy, the time limit is 10 minutes, on medium, 7, and on hard, 5. Each time the game is played, Waldo is moved to a new location in the scene. Not all levels in the game have the same format of finding Waldo as the other levels, however. In the cave level, the player must find Waldo in the dark. To help, Waldo will briefly pop up to give a clue to where Waldo is. In the subway level, the player must go through a maze to collect Waldo and his dropped glasses in order to exit the stage. The player must also avoid Wizard Whitebeard, who can quickly subtract time if the player lands on his spot. And in the final level, the player must match 3 pictures of Waldo in order to get Waldo to the moon. The game's response from reviewers was negative. One of the most known criticisms for the game is the graphics. Some of the pixelated objects in each game level had such similar colors and stripes of Waldo's shirts. In some level, Waldo would change color, which made it hard to find Waldo in each of the levels. Cracked.com said of Where's Waldo, it was the worst graphics of any NES game. There are many other graphically challenged games that were made, but this game takes the cake. That's a quote from them. A review from honestgamers.com criticized the gameplay. At first, I did not understand what I was supposed to do, and I was even considering returning it to the store. Quote from them. ConsoleClassics.com said that although fans of the book may enjoy the game a little, other players may get bored. An issue of Game Informer, they gave Waldo a 1 out of 10, citing it as being, quote, a game for those too lazy to turn a page, unquote. In giving the game an F, writer Cyril Lashel wrote, it's hard to believe something this pointless came out of Bethesda Softworks. Where's Waldo? Hopefully in a landfill, because that's where this 8-bit piece of garbage belongs. A reviewer of Yahoo Voices, who gave the game 0.5 out of 5 stars, even criticized the sound effects. Some reviewers also noted of the game's lack of replay value, which was reviewed by GameCola.net. The game was listed as number 12 on SeanBaby.com's worst Nintendo games. And yeah, this is a pretty bad game. I was a fan of the Where's Waldo books. I even had a Where's Waldo movie. You could probably find it if you looked that up on YouTube. I think it was Where's Waldo and the Mean Genie of Aladdin's Lamp or something like that. It was an interesting movie. And I seem to remember there being a Where's Waldo cartoon show also that, you know, kind of a spin-off of this. But yeah, this is not very good. The music is probably the only saving grace, and there's not much of it, and what is there is really not all that good to begin with. So it's just one of those really hard to find something worthwhile about this kind of games. I will say this though, it is short.